So welcome to the show. I am Jamie, and this is Q&A with a vegan on whatever day it is. I'm not wearing a hat. So let's just get to it. Let's get to the questions. Let's do it. So I figured I'd open up talking about the book like I usually do. So the book will be available sometime no later than September of 2015. Just doing the final touches on it, then working with the designer, get the cover down, then working with the publisher and all that kind of jazz. So stay tuned. I'll definitely let you know. Just, nitpicking words, like I said last time, just trying to make it a piece of art is what I'm trying to do. I want to give you something that, is just some, just to make money, cash cow, ebook kind of piece of garbage. I want to make something that, would last and hopefully would inspire you to, have your own sort of revelation. So let's get to the questions. Do you take any vitamins to complement your meals? The only one that I'm taking is a B12 supplement. Recently I did a blood test hoping to get the, my B12 levels tested and to see if there was actually a difference taking this supplement. Turns out that they didn't give me the B12 test in what they told me was a comprehensive blood test. So if you're getting a blood test in the US, make sure you tell them that you are vegan, otherwise, or tell them that you want B12 specifically. Because if they say you're getting a comprehensive blood test, you're not. So definitely let them know that you're vegan, so they'll check for these things because they freak out because you're vegan. So that's the only vitamin I take right now. In probably another 2-3 months, I'm going to go back and get another blood test specifically to check for B12 to see if these pills are working. These vitamins are working. Pills sounds like you're taking Viagra or something. Yeah. So like always, any question you have, if it's personal, if it's whatever, it's I'll answer it if enough people want to talk about it, or enough people ask a similar question. Because there's a lot of comments to sift through, so I don't want to waste your time. There's been videos posted by ex-vegans saying why they've gone back to eating animal products, which I do not understand. Why do you think this happens? It makes me sad knowing the cruelty goes behind animal products, how damaging the environment and your health. How could this go? How could people do that? I think that people are in search for the truth, so people come to the diet, people go off the diet. A lot of people don't make it an actual lifestyle. And, these people that go off it might come on, and these people that go on it might come off. So, it's hard to tell. I mean, I had a friend who was vegan for, 7 years, something like that. And she's recently went back to the way she was eating before, sort of a paleo, sort of hybrid type of thing. She did it mainly because her doctor told her to. So, there's any sort of reasons, but I do agree. I kind of go by the notion, if I'm not willing to do it myself, if I'm not willing to kill the animal myself for the food, then I don't really want to pay someone else to do it for me. But that's me. Other people are willing to kill the animal, so that's a different story for a different video, perhaps. So, hope that answers the question. Can you do a video about how it helps with your digestion? I guess you're talking about this type of diet. It helps tremendously. A lot of people say that if you eat all this fruit, or if you eat all these grains or potatoes or bread even, that you're not going to have correct bowel movements. But it's the complete opposite. I mean, I go to the bathroom more than twice a day on average, and it's easy, in and out within a minute. And, people who are eating a low fruit or low plant-based whole food diet, don't usually have the opposite problem. So they're in the bathroom for, God knows how long. So for digestion, you're just eating mostly whole fruits and vegetables. So of course it's going to aid in digestion, because that's what our bodies are meant to eat. That's what we thrive on. So hope that answers the question. Hey Jamie, been vegan for nearly 6 months now, but finding it difficult with university getting really demanding and intense. On top of commuting, fruit/smoothies don't keep me energized for long enough, and don't get many long lunches, so eating on the go a lot. Other than dates and other high energy foods, what would you suggest? Carrying enough fruit smoothies for a 9 to 7 day at university. I would need a mini suitcase. Exactly. So I could just tell you what's worked for me and what's worked for other people that I've helped. When I was in university, I basically had smoothies up until lunchtime, and then either had jam sandwiches, peanut butter jelly sandwiches, Cliff Bars, rice, just bought rice at the campus, just white rice, brown rice, whatever. That's essentially it. In the beginning, I was doing veggie burgers and like low-fat, homemade veggie burgers, but in terms of just time and, because I would spend so much time at university talking to professors and just going on, like, so just like you're busy. So I found the smoothie works the best. And since I was moving around so much, I really didn't have time to even eat that. So I just had a lot of food when I got home at night, around 6, 7 p.m. for dinner. So that's what worked for me. But there's always options at the university. Like I said, white rice for me was my main fuel when I didn't bring my own food. So you can always bring, steamed potatoes, steamed vegetables, steamed grains, and stuff like that. Or you could, make those sandwiches, like I was saying. But it's a personal preference. That's what worked for me, and that's all I can really attest to. So, hope that answers the question. Could you talk about the history of our ancestors and how plant foods actually played a role in our digestive tract's forming? What could have been our favorite foods, and how much abundance do you think we really had? Well, I can talk about my ancestors specifically, which is Northern European, sort of Nordic, Germanic sort of ancestors. So I could talk about my people specifically, European peoples. So all those cultures, as well as many other prominent civilizations in the world, thrived off of a predominantly plant-based plethora of foods. Primarily grain-based, starchy-based vegetables, tubers, and rice, and grains, and breads, and wheats, and all that kind of stuff. So those kinds of foods were our staples, and the gladiators, particularly, were known as the Horiati, which is the barley men in Latin, because they would eat so much barley. And there's the case of Caesar's legions, the armies of Caesar, preferring a vegetarian diet when they went into battle because they found that they were dodgy and sort of their digestion was all off, and they didn't have as much power when they're eating meat in their diets. So all of these cultures, predominantly these cultures where my background is, my genetic background is from, thrived off of these plant foods. And yes, they did eat meat. Of course, there's hardly any human civilization in history that has not had meat in their diet, but it's always been such a small quantity because of the trouble it was to get animal foods, and it was never at this insane level that we're at today. So while I can't give you information of how that influenced our colon or our digestion or anything like that, we do see, and somebody like me who isn't studying, who isn't, wow. So while I can't say much about the reason how these foods affected our digestive system, we can just look at the data and look at the remains of these civilizations that show that they thrived on these plant foods, these plant-based diets that they were on, predominantly plant-based diets. So I hope that answers the question. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, not a anthropologist, but looking at the data that these professionals have published, you can see that these cultures, and like again, specifically I'm talking about my European ancestors, they thrived off those predominantly plant-based diets. So I hope that answers the question. Yeah.